I'm wrapping up my project here with the natural hair color versus the number of hours worked per week. And I did 1 through 25. The last thing I have here is my extra credit question from about Excel. So I did make that ANOVA table and the pivot table in Excel. I put that on the first page in part 1. And now I want to answer this question about how that data compares to what I found in StatKey and what I'm noticing. I left this question a little open-ended because I want to hear your thoughts, kind of how you want to address it. You can respond in a paragraph or any observations. But I also wanted to provide a little bit of guidance, but this is very open-ended of how you want to answer this. This is just, I kind of want to see your responses. I am like a mathy person, of course, so I love tables. So I decided to answer in a table. That doesn't mean you need to. It's just one way to do it. I like kind of organizing myself that way, but you're welcome to answer in a paragraph or however you want to do it. So anyway, to make my table, I went over to, let's see, I thought it was home. Let's see, home. And where is those tables? Might be under insert. Yeah, I'm sorry, insert, and then there's tables here. So if I wanted to do, let's see, I did a 4 by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So you can do like a 1, 2, 3, 4 by 7. Actually, it always goes R by C, so row by column. So 7 by 4, or however big a column. You can always add or subtract rows and columns, but you kind of just do that, and then it kind of inserts a table, and then I just kind of decorated it. So that's how I got that in there. And then I filled in the things I want to compare. So I'm looking at the statistic, what it was in Excel, what it was in StatKey, and if they're equal or close. So some ideas of things I want to look at. And if I want to add something else in here, I can just kind of highlight a row, and then I can say insert a row below or above. It's very flexible. So if I see something else I want to compare. So let's actually go. I know we got the screenshots on the first page, but since I want to kind of compare it right here, I'm going to go ahead and go to Excel and get that screenshot. So I have my pivot table and my ANOVA table next to each other. So I'll just take that whole screenshot and put that into my document again, just for reference. So it's right there. I'll make it a lot smaller though, so it fits the page better. Whoops, I don't want that. Just make it a little more space here. Okay, so kind of still came right off the page, didn't it? Make it a little smaller. There we go. Okay, so my F-stat, I'm sorry, not my F-stat, my F statistic is, or F-test statistic, I should say. In Excel, let's see, I got 0.7122227. I can round that off to 0.712. And then using StatKey, I got 0.712 also. Where's that original data? There it is. So my original sample, I actually got the exact same F-test score. So I can actually say those are an exact match. 0.712. Yeah, these were equal. Or just yes. And then the p-value, my p-value here in Excel, I got 0.583677, and then in StatKey, I got 0.589. Not surprising that those are a little bit different because this one I got with random simulation, and the other one I got with area using calculus. So it's a little bit different of a formula or method. So a little bit different. My p-value here came out to be, on StatKey, was 0.589, whereas in Excel I got, what was it, 0.583, a little bit different, 0.583. So very, very close, but slightly different. Very close. Yes, very close. Our critical value, here I got 2.38. And in StatKey I had, that's my alpha page, there it is, 2.365. Again, I use different methods here. Excel uses calculus methods and area, and StatKey uses the random simulation. So not too surprising, it's a little bit different. 2.365 for that one, for StatKey. For the critical value, 2.365. And in Excel, I got 2.383. We'll round it off. Pretty darn close, though. In fact, if I go to two syllable, well, one decimal, then it's exact. So, yes, very close. And again, I just kind of decided I wanted to use equal or very close. You can do this however you want. You don't have to use my table or my terminology. You can just kind of use your own words to just kind of address, are you seeing the same thing, and regardless of which program you use. The means here, I got in the pivot table, I got black haired had 20 hours, blonde had 20.8 hours, brown had 19.3. Those kind of match up here with my, those do match up here with my average from the ANOVA table. These are coming from the same program. Excel's calculating both of these, so not a big surprise that those would be exactly equal. They are. But how's it compare to StatKey's averages? Let's look up at StatKey's original sample data. So its averages, we got the black haired at 20 hours, blonde had 20.8, brown had 19.3, other was 11.4. I think these are exactly the same. So I think those are exactly the same. 18.6, right? Yeah, exactly the same. Exactly the same means. So I can just copy those from Excel. So in Excel, we got, my means were, just rounding to, I guess, one decimal, 20.0, 20.8, 19.3, 11.4, and 18.6, and I got exactly the same numbers for StatKey. So yes, they were equal. All right, and then the counts, you can see the counts here. We got the black hair was 223, just the sample sizes, 113, 454, 7, and 14. And looking at the original data in StatKey, you can also see those counts are, that's not StatKey, sorry. Where's my StatKey sample? There we go, 223, 113, 454, 7, 14. Exactly the same. So those also were an exact match. Yes, those were equal. Control C, just kind of noticing what is similar, what's not. What I decided to put in my table is pretty random here. What do we get in Excel here? Counts, we got 223, 113, 454, 7, and 14, and those were exactly the same. And then we have standard deviation squared versus variance. The reason I did this one, so in Excel, it gives us the variance right here, but it doesn't actually give us a standard deviation. But in StatKey, I'm going to copy that down so I can see it better next to each other. Where's the StatKey There we go. I'm just going to copy this. Control C, and I'll just put it right next to my Excel data. Yeah. So my standard deviation, they don't give me variance, they give me standard deviation. But if I square these numbers, I should get the same variance. So 15.6 squared. Let's see. I don't know if this has. So in Excel, I can actually do this. I can take that 15.6 squared, that's under the black here. So I'm just going to put stat keys standard deviation squared to see if I get variance. Let's see. So that's, I'm going to do Excel's formulas. So that's equals 15.6, a little caret, and a 2 means squared. Pretty darn close. Not exact, but really close. I'm just going to copy. Let's see. No, I can't just copy. So this time for blondes, we had the standard deviation of 16.2. So 16.2 squared, 262, even closer. So these are not exact because stat keys are rounded off to 1 decimal place, so they're a little less accurate, but pretty darn close. So 15.7 squared for the brown haired, and we got pretty close. And then our standard deviation for red hair was 15.6. And if I square that, I can see that variance. Oh, that one's pretty far off actually, isn't it? 15.6. Oh, I see why, because I put that in the wrong box. That one should be right there under red hair. And then the other was 14.6. Equals 14. That equal sign tells Excel to do a calculation. So equals 14.6 squared. And then you can see these numbers came out pretty close. Pretty darn close. So they're pretty close. I'm just going to copy these into my Word document. So there's my Excel numbers. Whoa. Let's like shrink these up a bit. I don't love the way that looks. Probably let's put this on a new page. Insert a page break. There we go. And whereas stat key had these numbers, and this is the way I'm choosing to show it. But again, you don't have to do it the way I did it. You don't have to do exactly what I'm doing. Just kind of the way I think about it and how I compare things. So you're watching my thought process right now. And I want to see what your thought process is. I did want to make these numbers a little smaller. Yeah, so I can see that they're pretty close. So very close. Sum of squares. You can see my sum of squares here. Kind of lines up with my, that's in the ANOVA table, which I can't click in obviously because my ANOVA table is not here. This is just a screenshot. So since my ANOVA table is actually not available, I don't have those numbers anymore, so I can't compare that. Let's see, but yeah, just kind of looking and it's just fun to kind of observe the different things that different programs give you and how you can use different programs to do different things. I think I might actually have my ANOVA table still. No, I don't. I think I actually closed it. I'm sorry. So I can't get those numbers anymore. I just have my screenshot here. Otherwise, in a stat key, I can actually click ANOVA table and compare my sum of squares and all these different values. Anyway, so this is just kind of extra credit to just to show me that you're thinking about it and observing whether they're equal or not. So I'm going to take out sum of squares since I didn't do that one. I'll take out these 2 rows.